You're listening to the CyberWire Network, powered by N2K.
And now, a message from CyberBit. Mastering cybersecurity is like mastering a sport. You build muscle memory through rigorous practice, then you train as a team to foster cohesion while operating under pressure. Like athletes, cybersecurity professionals thrive on hands-on simulation. But traditional courses, certifications, and open-source labs won't build you a winning team. You need CyberBit. CyberBit offers a hyper-realistic simulation environment for your SOC, IR, and C-suite to refine your skills, all using the market-leading SIMs, EDRs, firewalls, and WAFs they use every day. CyberBit is offering CyberWire listeners a free live-fire exercise. Sign up your team now at cyberbit.com/cyberwire. IntelBroker claims to have breached a Europol online platform. The U.S. and China are set to discuss AI security. U.S. agencies warn against BlackBasta ransomware operators. Acclaimed Russian group attacks British local newspapers. Cinterion cellular modems are vulnerable to malicious SMS attacks. A UK IT contractor allegedly failed to report a major data breach for months. Generative AI is a double-edged sword for CISOs. Reality Defender wins the RSA Conference's Innovation Sandbox competition. Our guest is Chris Betz, CEO of AWS, discussing how to build a strong culture of security. And solar storms delay the planting of corn. It's Monday, May 13th, 2024. I'm Dave Bittner, and this is your CyberWire Intel Briefing. Happy Monday, everybody. It is great to have you here with us. Europol is investigating a security breach of its Europol Platform for Experts, the EPE. The breach was disclosed after a threat actor known as IntelBroker claimed to have stolen documents labeled for official use only, containing classified data. According to Europol, the breach affected a closed user group on the EPE, an online platform used by law enforcement to share knowledge and non-personal data about crime. Europol has assured that no core systems or operational data was compromised, and the EPE application does not process operational information. IntelBroker, active since December and involved in various government data leaks, claims the stolen data includes sensitive information on thousands of Alliance employees and cybercrime experts. They've also breached other significant data platforms like EC3 Space and Sirius within Europol's networks. The threat actor is now offering the stolen data for sale on dark web forums. The United States and China are set to commence high-level discussions focused on the security and risks of advanced AI systems. Biden administration officials say these discussions will not aim at promoting technical cooperation, but rather at addressing concerns related to AI's impact on national security and anti-democratic uses, particularly by China. Recent incidents, including AI-facilitated cyber attacks linked to China, highlight these issues. The dialogues, part of broader efforts to manage tensions and maintain open channels despite strained relations, will involve senior officials from both countries discussing the implications of AI in various sectors and governance. These talks follow direct discussions between Presidents Biden and Xi, who emphasize the need for ongoing dialogue despite not participating directly in the upcoming meetings. The U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, along with the FBI, HHS, and MSISAC, issued a cybersecurity advisory against the BlackBasta hacker group. This ransomware-as-a-service organization has affected over 500 entities across critical infrastructure in North America, Europe, and Australia since April 2022. The advisory outlines tactics, techniques, and procedures and indicators of compromise used by BlackBasta, such as phishing, exploiting vulnerabilities, and a double extortion tactic involving data encryption and exfiltration. The advisory stresses the implementation of mitigations like updating systems, using multi-factor authentication, and training against phishing to reduce ransomware risks. BlackBasta's operations involve sophisticated tools for network scanning, lateral movement, privilege escalation, and data exfiltration, emphasizing the urgent need for comprehensive cybersecurity measures across critical infrastructure sectors. A group claiming to be first-class Russian hackers defaced websites of British local and regional newspapers owned by NewsQuest Media Group by posting a fake news story titled "Prvoklasny Russian Hackers Attack." The incident, affecting potentially hundreds of sites, suggested a breach in a central or shared content management system, though there's no proof the attackers were actually Russian. This breach highlights vulnerabilities in the cybersecurity of UK local media, particularly with an upcoming election. The style of the attack is reminiscent of attacks used by Eastern European groups like Ghostwriter, known for inflaming tensions through false stories and hacking, but no specific group has been confirmed responsible for this incident. Cinterion cellular modems, used extensively across various sectors like industrial, healthcare, and more, are vulnerable to attacks via malicious SMS messages. The U.S. National Vulnerability Database reports a severe flaw rated 9.8 out of 10 that allows remote unauthenticated attackers to execute arbitrary code and potentially take full control of the modem. This vulnerability was part of a broader set identified by Kaspersky, including 7 zero-day exploits found in February 2023. These vulnerabilities also affect the modem's handling of Java-based applications, enabling unauthorized code execution and compromising network security. Kaspersky recommends disabling SMS capabilities and enforcing stringent digital signature verification for midlets as mitigation steps. Telit Cinterion, the manufacturer, has yet to comment on patching efforts or specific mitigation advice. The Guardian reports in an exclusive that Shared Services Connected Limited, an IT contractor for the UK government, failed to report a significant breach for months after being hacked, potentially by a Chinese group. This breach compromised the payroll data of approximately 270,000 Ministry of Defense staff. Despite awareness of the breach in February, the incident was only recently disclosed to the Ministry of Defense. The UK Defense Secretary, Grant Shapps, has criticized SSCL for its slow response and has initiated a full review of SSCL's government contracts, which include other undisclosed sensitive cybersecurity roles. This situation has raised concerns over a broader compromise of government systems. SSCL, now wholly owned by the French company Sopra Steria, was previously partly owned by the UK government until last October. The Chinese embassy has denied involvement in the hack. HelpNet Security looks at how the rise of generative AI impacts the role of chief information security officers, finding that it is increasing both opportunities and challenges in cybersecurity. Harold Rivas of Trellix emphasizes the critical importance of CISOs in navigating AI integration while ensuring cyber defense. The widespread accessibility of generative AI has made it a dual-edged sword, easily utilized by both cybersecurity professionals and malicious actors. Key statistics from a survey show that 76% of CISOs have already implemented Gen AI in their operations. 100% believe Gen AI enhances cybersecurity processes. 90% of CISOs feel under increased pressure due to AI developments, and 45% are establishing AI committees to oversee AI use and implement governance. A concerning 99% have faced cyber attacks recently, with 82% noting an increase. The growing reliance on AI has not only heightened the cybersecurity risks, but also placed CISOs under greater scrutiny and liability. With 92% contemplating their future roles, there's a unanimous call for better regulation to manage AI's risks effectively. For the second consecutive year, an AI-based security startup won the Most Innovative Startup Award at the RSA Conference's Innovation Sandbox competition. This year, Reality Defender clinched the prize with its tool designed to identify deepfakes and artificial content, addressing a significant issue highlighted by the judges, especially relevant in an election year. Reality Defender's platform uses AI to detect fraudulent audio, video, images, and text in real time, aiming to become the primary detection layer for all AI-generated fraud. This win reflects the increasing importance of tackling AI-driven security challenges in cybersecurity. Coming up after the break, Chris Betz, CISO of AWS, discusses how to build a strong culture in security. Stay with us. Every day, your IAM tech debt grows. Your multi-generational services struggle to work together. Building an identity fabric can fix this. It makes all your identity tooling stronger and allows you to connect any app to any service you want to use, with zero coding, zero maintenance, and zero app downtime. Strata's identity orchestration platform separates the identity logic from your applications, so you can optimize existing IAM tools and manage them in a single control plane. Now, every vendor, standard, and architecture work together. In short, building your identity fabric means you can secure your non-standard apps, keep your complex access policies, retire outdated IDPs, and modernize in record time. So build your fabric with Strata Identity and get rid of tech debt for good. Visit strata.io/cyberwire, share your identity priorities, and receive a pair of AirPods Pro. Offer valid for organizations over 5,000 employees. Connect today at strata.io/cyberwire. And now, a word from our sponsor, 6sense. 6sense provides award-winning cloud-based automated endpoint and vulnerability management solutions to streamline IT and security operations. With its advanced platform, businesses gain complete visibility and control over their infrastructure, reducing IT and security risks and optimizing operational efficiency. With 6sense, you'll get real-time alerts, risk-based vulnerability prioritization and remediations, and an intuitive automation and orchestration engine so you can focus on your core business goals, confident in the knowledge that your enterprise is secure, compliant, and running smoothly. To learn why enterprises choose 6sense, visit 6sense.com. Chris Betz is Chief Information Security Officer at AWS. I recently spoke with him about how to build a strong culture of security.
Every organization I've been with has their own culture. In particular to cybersecurity, one of the most important things is having a culture that matches the company's culture, but also helps make sure that the company is focused in the right priorities. Security is hard enough. When each organization is pulling in a different direction, when security is not seen as an organizational imperative, it makes it really, really hard for the for security to work correctly. And so I think that the deep partnership between the business and security is important. I think having the culture that powers security throughout the organization really makes a huge difference.
Well, let's go through some of the details here. I mean, what are some of the ways that people who are in a leadership position when it comes to security, how can they instill this strong culture of security within their organization?
I don't think it comes just from security leadership. I think a security culture has to start at the top and then extend throughout the organization. The structure we have at AWS is a good example of that. Adam, our CEO, says in almost every conversation I see him on stage, he talks about how security is our top priority to everybody in the organization. And he not only says that, he lives it. As you know, business leaders, CEOs, their time is pulled a million different directions. Adam dedicates at least an hour a week, sometimes more, to sit down with his leadership, with my leadership, and with engineering teams across the company to go deep into security topics with them. And so, yes, security leaders are a critical part of building that culture. But I think security culture starts at the top of an organization. And so it's having the board, the CEO, the organizational leaders just as invested that makes a real difference.
Well, then how do you go about getting that buy-in to filter down to everyone along the organizational chart?
You know, I've been at multiple companies, the past several, where this has been true, where it's very, very clear from the CEO on down that this is a priority. And so I think the journey we've been on with cybersecurity over the past few decades has really made this true for many companies. I think boards and others see the imperative. I think one of the jobs that we have as security professionals is really partnering with our executive leadership and helping them make this something that they live, make this an area where they invest in, make this an area where it resonates for the whole of the organization. And so our job is to tap into that passion, that challenge that companies feel when it comes to cybersecurity, and to enable those leaders to take the right actions to show up and set that note for the organization.
How do you instill a sense among all the folks within the organization that everyone has an individual responsibility for security?
I think it's really important that everybody feel like security is their job. One of the ways that I've seen organizations be successful and make that happen is they tap into the existing ways that organizations think. For example, at AWS and Amazon, ownership is incredibly important. And leaders throughout the organization at all levels take the time to reiterate the message and to live the message that they own security. The ways that I've seen that work most successfully is when each person feels that independent accountability, and leadership across the company does that. The other piece that I think is so critically important is to recognize and appreciate when people make security a top priority. One of the concepts we use at AWS is a concept called two-way doors. Two-way doors simply recognize that many decisions can be unmade, can be changed. And so making a decision that's a two-way door decision is relatively low risk. People should feel comfortable making those decisions pretty rapidly because we can turn those off if they were the wrong call. Escalating security issues, escalating security risk is a perfect example of what I call a two-way door decision, what we call a two-way door decision. It's a chance where people can say, hey, raise their hand. We think there's a problem. And if they're right, great. We avoided a bad situation. And if there's wrong, if there's more there that they didn't recognize, that's great. Again, we can recognize and appreciate it and roll that decision back and continue operation. And so that concept of being willing to take risk, to say, hey, I think I've got something that looks funny, to recognize that is relatively a low cost decision. It's easy to unmake those in many, many cases. And recognizing people, whether it was something that needed another look and we did want to stop it, or whether it's something that needed to be rolled back. Those are things that need to be recognized and appreciated.
And as you say, I mean, speaking of culture, I mean, it sounds to me like what you've established there is a culture where people feel safe making those decisions, that it's okay to make a mistake because we put in a process in place here that we can roll it back or make it right together.
Exactly. They need to be able to be safe making a decision and identifying a security problem, and really taking the time and energy to recognize people who are making those decisions consistently is super important.
You know, it's hard to imagine many more high-profile CISO jobs than yours. Heading up, AWS, having that job, an important position in the world. How do you deal with scaling this type of security culture? The scale at which you run, uh, even just that is hard for me to wrap my mind around. But how do you have this through the thousands of people that you must be working with throughout the year?
I feel the same pressure. And it's something that my team, everybody takes seriously. Not all clouds are built the same, especially when it comes to security. And we've got our own special mechanisms to make that happen. For us, I've got a central team that provides training, threat models, tools, frameworks, design reviews, and really works to build all of those elements into how the teams develop software wherever possible. Our goal is to make the secure way the easy way, and to make sure that security is built in wherever it can be. We get to help scale out through things like we've got a security guardians program. And so our security guardians program are sets of engineers, of deep subject matter experts around AWS who've developed a passion for security in addition. And so they come, they work with us. They're part of, each of those two team to be organizations, to be security ambassadors, guardians within the product teams. They act as the security conscience. They make it much faster and much more successful for us to secure the organization and to come up with the right solutions. Because everything, all of the tools, every service that's get launched, of course, goes through a final security review for each new service and each new feature. And our goal is to make sure that we hold the bar, and those security guardians help us deep in the organization set that up correctly.
What's your advice for that person who's been, brought in to kind of make, order out of chaos? Someone who's been brought in to lead a security team, and they really want to establish this culture of security. I'm thinking of that person in a smaller, medium-sized business. Do you have any words of wisdom for how they can come in and really make a difference?
Step one, partner closely with your peers in the business. Think about who are the right folks to work with, so that what you're doing in establishing that security culture is amplified in the way that the organization works. Secondly, look at your internal and external partners. There are key partners that you can use. Your cloud service provider, your managed security partner. They've each seen these journeys before. But overall, keep in mind there are, I think, 4 key principles to building that strong culture of security. 1, make sure it's built into the organizational structure. Make sure it's part of something led from the top, led from leadership, and also echoes throughout the organization. 2, make sure that everybody feels like it's their job, that they understand that trust in the product, that security of the product is everybody's job. 3, make sure that you've got the right expertise in the right place. You take advantage of those passionate security folks across organizations. Establish something like a Guardians program. Use that to help scale across the organization. And lastly, find those opportunities to build the tools, to build the capabilities that make achieving security bar much easier and much faster.
That's Chris Betz, Chief Information Security Officer of AWS. Are lengthy security reviews pulling attention away from your security program? With the largest network of trust centers, Vanta can help you streamline security reviews to win customer trust, save time, and close deals fast. Proactively demonstrate security by showcasing key resources like your SOC 2 or ISO 27001 and provide real-time evidence for passing controls. And when a security questionnaire is required, Vanta takes the first pass for you. Visit vanta.com/cyber to take a self-serve tour. That's vanta.com/cyber. And finally, last Friday, we noted that coming solar storms had the potential to disrupt electronics here on planet Earth, including the electrical grid and GPS satellite signals. Over the weekend, intense solar storms, the strongest since 2003, did indeed disrupt GPS systems crucial for self-driving tractors, causing some farmers in the Midwest to halt planting corn. This timing is critical, as planting after May 15th can significantly reduce crop yields, according to the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. Farmer Tom Schwartz noted that the precision required for his organic farming is so high that only GPS can achieve the necessary accuracy. Additionally, farmers were warned that future tending to their crops based on GPS data gathered this past weekend would likely be inaccurate. The solar storms reached a G5 severity, indicating potential major impacts on power grids and communications, although significant disruptions were avoided. We had clouds here in the Baltimore area, so no northern light show for us, but some of our colleagues from the Boston area shared pictures that were spectacular. And that's the CyberWire. For links to all of today's stories, check out our daily briefing at thecyberwire.com. Don't forget to check out the Grumpy Old Geeks podcast, where I contribute to a regular segment on Jason and Brian's show every week. You can find Grumpy Old Geeks where all the fine podcasts are listed. We'd love to know what you think of this podcast. Your feedback ensures we deliver the insights that keep you a step ahead in the rapidly changing world of cybersecurity. If you like our show, please leave a rating and review in your podcast app. Please also fill out the survey in the show notes or send an email to cyberwire@n2k.com. We're privileged that N2K CyberWire is part of the daily routine of the most influential leaders and operators in the public and private sector, from the Fortune 500 to many of the world's preeminent intelligence and law enforcement agencies. N2K makes it easy for companies to optimize your biggest investment, your people. We make you smarter about your teams while making your teams smarter. Learn how at n2k.com. This episode was produced by Liz Stokes. Our mixer is Trey Hester, with original music and sound design by Elliot Peltzman. Our executive producer is Jennifer Iben. Our executive editor is Brandon Karpf. Simone Petrella is our president, Peter Kilpie is our publisher, and I'm Dave Bittner. Thanks for listening. We'll see you back here tomorrow. And now, a word from our sponsor, SpyCloud, the leader in operationalizing cybercrime analytics. Traditional threat intelligence is a thing of the past. Cyber criminals are stealing vast amounts of credentials, session cookies, and financial data every day, and it's hard to keep up. SpyCloud is the trusted partner businesses turn to fully understand their darknet exposure risk and neutralize threats before it's too late. SpyCloud alerts your organization as soon as an employee or customer's data appears on the dark net, so you can act faster than bad actors to prevent cyber attacks like ransomware, session hijacking, account takeover, and online fraud. With insights from the industry's largest repository of recaptured data, protect the digital identities and systems most important to your business. Get your free corporate darknet exposure report at spycloud.com/cyberwire and see what information criminals have in their hands today. That's spycloud.com/cyberwire.